I wouldn't say necessarily that there is necessarily a downside to doing anything up front per se. That let's see. So you guys are seeing the questions, the fruit concentrate question, or are you seeing still the splash page? Because I cannot tell what's coming on there. If you have the fruit concentrate question, that's what it should be, but it may not. What about actual fruit? Actual fruit up front, you can add it. You know, a lot of times Ken Schramm is one of those guys that asks about using fruit, and he likes to use real fruit, IQF, and things along that line. And generally, you have to add quite a bit of fruit, on the order of 2 to 3 pounds or more per gallon to really good quality flavor. If you add whole fruit and secondary, we're setting to the presentations side of the PowerPoint. I see. So I've got the wrong one up there. For some reason, it's kicking it over to the other page. So let me see what I can do here. Isn't it fun when you do everything the first time and you really don't exactly know how to get things back to the way they're supposed to be? This is, anyway, that should be the right one. That's the one I'm actually on. Let's see, move all these over here. Let's see what works this way. So adding fruit concentrates. Back to the question. Adding fruit concentrates in primary and in whole fruit in primary, I think you can do both of them quite the same way. And the sugar is going to be eaten by the yeast, and it's going to kind of produce a different animal, because every sugar has a different kind of every kind of fruit has a different kind of sugar involved. So you got sucrose, fructose, and glucose as well. So when the yeast strip those sugars out, you're left with the acid, and you're left with other characteristics. When you back sweeten with those things, that when you add whole fruit, you're going to have dilution problems. You're also going to have a lot of sediments that settle out. So that's the cons of using whole fruit on secondary versus in primary. When you have it in using secondary, when you have concentrates in secondary, you have way less precipitates that fall out of solution and create filtration problems. Man, this is crazy. So sorry everybody, this is such a new thing for me that I'm really trying to get it all together. If secondary is preferred, is there a time that it should rest between filtering and bottling? I find when I use concentrates, you can pretty much immediately go into filtering and bottling. We don't do a whole lot of aging on our products. After we add the fruit concentrate, we do add pectin enzyme, and we might let that go at a warmer temperature for 2 days or 3 days in that sense. And spices are usually the problem more than anything else. Pectin enzyme, I received from Robert. Pectin enzyme breaks down some of the pectins. Once you have pectin in certain fruits have a lot more pectin than others. And the pectin enzyme tends to work at higher temperatures. It tends to work less when there's alcohol already in production. So it's good to put it up front or add it to fruit to break things down before you actually get the yeast started. Once the alcohol goes up and once the temperatures are cold, it tends to not do its job quite as well. But there's obviously the downside of once you're in the warm temperatures, you may not want fermentation going on during those warm temperatures. So what does it do? It helps break down and presents pectin haze, which might be problematic for making, if you're not using filtration or finings, it'll take a lot longer to, even with finings, it'll take considerably longer to clear some of those things. So hopefully we've got everything cleared up, and hopefully I got Roger's question answered for him. I don't see too many more on the QA, so we'll go on to the next question. Which is back sweetening and yeast.